Easter's just around the corner and I'm at my favorite fresh market to see what they have in store for Easter. Let's go inside. You know, you're no bunny till some bunny loves you, and I cannot wait to put this bunny in my basket. Hey, I'm at Fresh Market, and we're getting ready for our Easter show, and all the wonderful things that they've got here, from bunnies to peeps to edible grass, anything that you might need to make this Easter very special. And I'm going to put together 3 things that you're going to definitely want to do. A wonderful glazed ham that is just phenomenal. I'm going to do an Easter egg cookie that the children can help you do, and it's also really a lot of fun, really beautiful dessert. And then finally, we're going to put together a centerpiece that is just beautiful for your table. So join me today for a hoppy Easter TV show. I had the greatest time at Fresh Market today, and you know, didn't it just look so festive in there? Then I get to the studio and look at what I'm looking at in here. Three Monkeys has done such a great job getting us all ready for Easter. I love all the decoration, and now the aromas are going to put me to the test to make sure I give you some recipes that hopefully you'll enjoy to use for Easter weekend. So what I've got in front of me is a bone-in shank ham. And I've gone ahead and started the process. You know, the main dish of your meal can actually become the centerpiece for your table. And it's amazing how these smells just kind of bring me back to when I was a child, and my mother would always put the cloves all over the top of the ham before she got it in the oven. So have a toothpick handy, and what you want to do is make the mark for the whole cloves with the toothpick so it makes it a lot easier to go in. And this is a little bit of a process, but again, it's a tradition. It's something that you can involve a young person in your home with the whole idea of getting in and doing the studying on the ham. It just really works out great that way. And then I like to take it a little bit further and add some fresh pineapple to that. And this is where you're just going to use that same toothpick just to get it to stay in place. And then we'll put a cherry right in the center. And again, you'll want to remove these before you serve it. But we're going to just cover the entire ham up with the pineapple and the cherries. But the best part to this, and why sometimes we go to a lot of trouble to buy a prepared ham, is for the actual glaze that goes on top. So I've put together some ingredients that I hope you'll think are very interesting. I know I enjoyed doing this myself, coming up with new things to work with. But this is going to use a chutney, a really dark brown sugar, a horseradish mustard, and fresh rosemary. And when I was at Fresh Market looking around at some of the ingredients, I found a really wonderful, extremely dark chocolate that's made with molasses. And then Stonewall Kitchen always does a great job with jams and jellies, and this is their old farmhouse chutney. So we're going to do each of these ingredients just in the saucepan, and this is going to cook down for a few minutes. So this is the mustard. And if you want to just use regular mustard and not horseradish mustard, if you think the hotness might be too much for your guest list, you can leave off the horseradish. And then the fresh rosemary, I've got about 2 teaspoons of that. And I'm going to get this turned on and start simmering here. And then I'm going to lift this into the pan. And the pan has already been prepared. And like I said, we're going to put a few more pineapple on here and a few more of the cherries. And this is going to just bake up really nice. The nice thing about doing a ham for Easter is the same reason we do turkey at Thanksgiving, is you're going to have some great sandwiches that night. So as you can see, this is going to get really thick, really nice. I'm going to brush this on the ham before it goes in the oven. It's going to bake at 325 for about an hour and a half. This is a 4-pound ham. and then it'll be ready to go. So come back with me after the break. I'm gonna get this ham in the oven so we can get that going, and then I'm gonna put together one of my favorite recipes for Easter cookies that you'll enjoy as well. So come back. Gosh, it's really smelling good. So let me check on this ham. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, pretty. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna put the glaze on it because I wanted you to see that. I wish the cameras could smell because it is just amazing. But this is that wonderful, chunky brown sugar, and you just want to kind of lightly pour it over. And this is going to, again, just going to kind of crisp up and get hard and just adds that aroma. You know, half of the process is making sure the house smells great on Easter Sunday. And you're cooking this at a low enough temperature that you could actually put it in right before you went to church on low and come in and it would be all ready to go. All right, so I'll put that back in the oven and get started on the cookies. Really pretty. All right, so let's move down here to these delicious Easter cookies. And I went ahead and you won't believe this, but I'm using a mix this time. If you're ever in a hurry, you want to do something special, you know, if it's a good mix, you really can't tell. This is a great sugar cookie mix. And I made the mix according to the package directions, but I added a little bit of extra butter and a little bit of flour and an egg to the recipe. And as usual, all of the recipes are on NBC26.tv. I separated the dough after I made it into 3 different bowls, and then I have colored the dough 3 different colors. So I'm going to use today yellow, green, and pink. So I'm going to put these side by side, and I think what I'll do is start with about half of this. So we'll move the others to the side. And what we're going to do is roll this out so that it's going to combine the colors together. So I want to lightly flour my rolling pin, and you know, I think I've used a rolling pin once before with you guys, and I said if you ever need a weapon, this can certainly be used for one. But I'm going to get this rolled out so that these come together, and then we're going to use circles and an oval shape to get this just right. So let me flip this over on the floured side, and I'll put just a tiny bit of flour on the top. You want to roll this out to about 1/4 of an inch. And you see how it's coming together really well. And the food coloring that I use for this is just the plain liquid food coloring that you can pick up at the store when you're there. All right, so now I'm going to take my oval shaped egg, and I want to make sure that I get all 3 colors. And the one that goes beside it, you want it to be as close to that same as possible so that when we ice these and make our little sandwiches, that they're exactly the same on both sides. And as I go through this process, the one part of the dough that I don't use, I'm going to show you a trick when we come back about how to utilize that dough. So here I'm getting the eggs together, all cut, and then right before they go in the oven, I'm going to sprinkle them with some sparkling sugar. So come back after the break. We'll be getting these in the oven. You know, we all think that Valentine's Day is the time for all the sweets, but I'm beginning to think that Easter might be number 2, if not number 1, because there's so many wonderful things that you can do with sweets during Easter. And as you can see, these cookies are just so adorable. And you know, we started with a cookie mix that you can buy right in the grocery store. We added a few things to it to make it just a little bit better. I put the sprinkles on the top that kind of almost give it a iridescent look. But this is where we're going to make a little bit of a change. It is so easy to make a cream cheese icing with butter, cream cheese, and powdered sugar. And there's nothing better than that as the filling for these cookies instead of a store-bought filling. So use the store-bought cookie mix, but go a little bit extra and do a wonderful filling for the inside. So what we're actually doing to these is almost making them like filled cookies, almost like a Easter egg moon pie. So I'm just going to take my cream cheese icing, and you want to spread about 1/8 of an inch evenly all the way around. And we're matching up the tops and the bottoms so that the cookies are the same when you close it up. So I've got just that. And we'll get a good many of these put together, and then in the next segment I'm going to show you how you can make this into a beautiful platter, because when we made the other ones just a few minutes ago, I did make some circles. I made some smaller eggs. This is a very large portion of this, but most children will eat this entire cookie. But for those of you that might want just a bite, you know, you can blend in the rounds with the big Easter egg size so that those turn out really pretty. All right, Easter egg dyeing. When I was working on this last night with my husband, he said, "Oh, I haven't done that since I was a child." And you know, even today when Sally Rich got here to decorate the set, she said she had so many memories of doing her Easter egg tree with her children. So, you know, when the children are gone, you can look forward to when the grandchildren come along, because you can go back to doing these sorts of things. But I've got my eggs are hard cooked, and I've done the different colors of dye. So I'm going to put the egg in the water and then put the spoon on top to keep it immersed in the dye. And when you're doing this, you can use the one that you buy at the grocery store, or you can use food coloring. And if you do your own food coloring, if you want the egg to be a little bit more vibrant, if you'll add just a little bit of vinegar to it, it's going to keep the dye is going to hold with the egg a lot better, and it doesn't interfere with the taste of it at all. So these are ready to go, and I actually have a few that I made ahead, so let me grab those out of the refrigerator. These turned out so beautifully. I did a lot of pastel colors. So what we're going to do when we come back from the break is I'm going to take the cookies, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful centerpiece out of those. We're going to do a traditional Easter egg centerpiece with lily of the valley and these beautifully dyed eggs, and then I'm going to be checking on that ham. So come back with us after the break and you'll see how easy and special Easter can be this year. Have you ever been to a restaurant and you're really concerned about, what do I do about my napkin? Always put your napkin in your lap the minute you get to the table at a restaurant. Fold it under your table and just put it neatly in your lap. If you have to get up for any reason, best thing to do, pick the napkin up. You can place it on either side of the plate. It'll be there when you return. If you've been lucky enough to be invited to someone's house for dinner, always wait for the host or hostess to put their napkin in their lap first. That is the sign that the meal is getting ready to start. Again, lift the napkin, put it under the table to open it up to go into your lap. People say, do I use a cloth napkin if I need to wipe my mouth or to get a spot from the table? Certainly, that's what a napkin is for. So remember, always put that napkin in your lap, but better yet, never put it in your shirt. It's me. You know, my children say, Mom, what in the world did you do on the TV show today? But I had to do it. You know, I used to always put these on at Easter time and run around the house and We always did the Easter egg hunt in the front yard with these ears, so they're still holding up after all these years. But it's just been such a great time to get ready for Easter, and the set looks so great. We started out the day at the Fresh Market today with all the great ideas they have for the Easter Bunny, and things have really come together for our outing today here on the VeryVera Show. So as you can see, the ham just turned out beautifully. The wonderful glaze that's on the top not only is going to make the house smell great, it's just delicious to eat. I want to remind you to pull the toothpicks out before you get ready to serve it. But this just looks wonderful. And all I've done for garnish is just some fresh rosemary. And then when I was in front of the Easter display today, they had the cutest little eggs. So I'm just going to use a few of those to lay on top of the rosemary and just continue to emphasize that Easter theme on the platter for the ham. All right, then remember we talked about the centerpiece that we were going to use with the traditional eggs, and I had such a great time getting the Easter eggs dyed. And what we're using for this, I've got just a beautiful heirloom compote that I had at home, and you can use any dish, any bowl that you might have. Even an Easter basket would be great. But this is going to be the centerpiece, and all it is all the Easter eggs that I dyed last night, and they can come back and forth from the table to the refrigerator, but there's nothing prettier this time of year than all the Easter eggs that you've prepared with your young person, or you just like to get in the kitchen and do it yourself. To just pile it high. And then to me, Lily of the Valley is just wonderful this time of the year. And I just want to put a few sprigs of that. And this will also make the room just smell fantastic because these blooms have such a great fragrance. So just use your creativity. Just take the leaves and go around the edge, let it pop. Plug in whatever else you want. I had a little chick that I've sat in here just for decoration. So you're just going to fill it up and just carry out that Easter theme all the way through the house. This would be great on the kitchen counter or on the dining room table, but it's just a really simple but beautiful centerpiece. All right, now you're looking at the carrots laying on the table, and here again, this was just another really fun family thing that I used to do, was that the Easter Bunny was coming, and we always left the carrots out for the Easter Bunny. And what you do is you lay the carrots here, and always be sure to buy the ones with the leaves, and then take one of them and just break it like the bunny ate it. And you're gonna sit this here and have the pieces out. And then if you've got a hardwood floor or a dark kitchen counter, what you want to do is take just some water, and you're going to dip 2 of your fingers into the water and then into the flour, and then you're going to make the prints where the bunny left his footprints as he pranced around your kitchen floor. So that's what you're going to do to show that the bunny came to visit. Have those just pranced all over the kitchen floor wherever you were working doing that. And that's really a fun thing to do with the children. Okay, lastly, we've got the Easter egg cookies. And again, we've got the man-size Easter egg cookie, which I'm sure the guys will just grab that and go. And then we did some smaller ones with circles, and then some smaller eggs, that would fit a more smaller appetite. But this edible grass is the greatest thing. It comes in a lot of different pastel colors. And instead of just leaving the bowl just as it is, again, I love to use glass and crystal in my home, and especially during the holidays for Easter. But I'm just going to take some of the artificial edible grass, not artificial, but edible. And that's going to be the centerpiece for the cookie display. So let's put some of the larger ones on the outside. And look how cool that looks. And then when the children find out they can eat it, they're going to be even more excited about it. So 2 or 3 of these scattered around on your buffet really makes a statement as far as how your Easter buffet is going to come together. All the recipes for the things that we made today are on the website at NBC26.tv, and I want you to be sure to go there. We've got archived recipes from all of the other seasons, So be sure to visit that and see all the recipes for today and how simple they are. But I just want to also remind you that, you know, sometimes something just as simple as a memento can mean a lot to someone. You know, we generally don't send Easter cards as much as we do Christmas cards and Valentine's Day cards. But something simple like this. These are Reese's Pieces in the shape of a carrot. You know, if you've got house guests for the weekend, you know, maybe one of those on their pillow before they go to bed is really cool with a note. You know, if you have co-workers at your office, just a little memento, you know, that Happy Easter was thinking about you is something really great to do. So keep in mind certain ideas when we have holidays coming up. And just remember, whatever you do, do it in good taste. And I want to remind you to be sure to watch over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be doing things, getting ready for the tournament, lots of ideas for entertaining, and some great new recipes. So keep tuning in on Saturday nights at 6. Have a wonderful Easter.